Imagine being 16 years old. You're walking home from a party late at night, and suddenly the police pull up. Within minutes, you're accused of a crime you didn't commit. You say you're innocent, but nobody listens. Instead, you're handcuffed, thrown into a patrol car, and taken away. That night marks the end of your childhood. And for Kalief Browder, that night was the beginning of a nightmare that would last 3 long years. Locked inside Rikers Island, one of the most violent jails in America, he was beaten, starved, and left in solitary confinement for nearly 2 years. And he never even had a trial. This is not just a story of Kalief Browder. This is a story of a broken system, and how one teenager became its victim. If you believe stories like this need to be told, make sure you like this video and subscribe. It helps us share the truth with more people who need to hear it. It was May 15th, 2010. Kalief Browder, just 16, was walking home from a party in the Bronx with his friends. A police car suddenly pulled up. Officers told Kalief a man had just reported being robbed of his backpack, and the suspects fit their description. Kalief insisted he hadn't done anything. He even asked the police to check him. He had nothing on him, but the officers didn't care. They cuffed him and put him in the back of the car. At the precinct, the accuser claimed Kalief had stolen his backpack weeks earlier. Weeks, not minutes, not hours. Despite the shaky claim, Kalief was charged with robbery, grand larceny, and assault. His bail was set at $3,000. For some families, that's a small price. But for Kalief's, it was impossible. They didn't have the money. So Kalief was sent to Rikers Island to wait for his day in court. Rikers Island is infamous. Violence is part of daily life. For Kalief, a skinny teenager among hardened criminals, it was hell. From the first day, he was beaten by inmates. Guards weren't there to protect him. In fact, sometimes they joined in. One video later released to the public showed Kalief being slammed to the ground by correctional officers. He was just 16, but the system treated him like an adult. He had to fight every single day to survive. His court dates came and went. Each time, his lawyer told him they needed more time. Each time, Kalief hoped he'd be freed. But the case kept being delayed, again and again. Over 30 times he stood in front of a judge. Over 30 times he walked back into his cell. Still waiting. Still without a trial. Prosecutors offered Kalief a way out. They told him, just plead guilty, admit to stealing the backpack. You can go home. For a boy who had spent months being beaten, locked up, and humiliated, the temptation was real. Many others in his situation would have taken the deal, but Kalief refused. He was innocent, and he wouldn't confess to a crime he didn't commit. That decision cost him years of his life. In Rikers, fights were common. Kalief was attacked repeatedly, and when he fought back, the punishment wasn't justice. It was solitary confinement. For almost 2 years, Kalief lived in a tiny cell, about the size of a closet. 23 hours a day alone. No one to talk to, no one to listen. Just 4 walls and silence. Solitary confinement is brutal for any adult, but for a teenager, it's crushing. Studies have shown that solitary can cause hallucinations, paranoia, and deep depression. For Kalief, it was like being buried alive. He later said, "I was just a kid. They didn't care. They threw me in a cage." Finally, after 3 long years, prosecutors admitted they didn't have enough evidence to proceed. The case was dismissed. Kalief Browder walked out of Rikers Island in 2013 a free man. But freedom wasn't the same as justice. He had missed his high school years, his teenage life. He came home broken, traumatized, carrying invisible scars that would never heal. After release, Kalief tried to move on. He earned his GED. He enrolled in college. He spoke out about his experience, determined to tell the world what happened. His story gained national attention. In 2014, journalist Jennifer Goneman published a powerful piece in The New Yorker that exposed his case to millions. President Barack Obama later referenced Kalief's story when calling for criminal justice reform. He became a symbol of the flaws in the bail system and the dangers of solitary confinement. But the trauma was too deep. Kalief struggled with paranoia. He would pace around the house, unable to relax. He felt like he was still trapped. On June 6, 2015, Kalief Browder died by suicide. He was only 22 years old. His mother, Venita, later said, "They destroyed my boy." Kalief's death shook the country. It forced America to confront the cruelty of its justice system. How could a teenager lose his life over a backpack he never stole? Kalief Browder's story is one of pain, injustice, and tragedy, but it's also a story of courage. Because even when he could set himself free by pleading guilty, Kalief refused. He held on to his truth until the end. Today, his name is remembered as a symbol of how badly the system can fail, but also as a reminder that real change is needed. No child should ever suffer what Kalief did. If you believe stories like this need to be told, share this video, hit like, and subscribe. Together, we can shine a light on injustice that should never be forgotten.